Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm a running coach with over 20 years running experience. I've run over 10 marathons, and Proviz have asked me to give you my top 5 tips for running a marathon. So the first thing you want to do when training for a marathon is have a training plan. Now, you might find a plan online, you might find a plan in a magazine, you might want to hire a coach. Ultimately, that plan needs to fit you and your lifestyle. It's important to give yourself enough time to train for a marathon. Training plans can vary between 16 weeks to 24 weeks. Make sure you do factor in adequate time in case you do get ill in the meantime and need to take some time off so that you don't feel like you have to catch up on training. It's important to find balance in your training program and not to overtrain. Secondly, running kit. Make sure when you're starting out on marathon training that you've got a pair of shoes that's suitable for whatever surface you're doing your marathon on. Make sure your running shoes are comfortable. Remember that training for a marathon is all about time on feet, so you need to be comfortable. Add to that your socks. You don't want to be worrying about blisters when you're on long runs, so make sure that your socks fit comfortably. So from there you can accessorise with whatever you feel comfortable in. So leggings, shorts, tops, jackets, gilets, gloves. Many of you will be training through winter if you're doing a spring marathon, so make sure you keep warm and layer up so that when you do start running and you get warm, you can easily take layers off if you need to. Whatever kit you choose, just make sure that you're comfortable in it. You'll be running for a long time, so you don't want kit that chafes and moves about too much. Think about your kit on race day as well and how you're going to carry your fuel, whatever that might be. So you might wear a running pack or a running belt to carry things. You might wear a hydration pack to carry some electrolyte drink or some water. Whatever that is, make sure you practice with the kit that you'll be using on race day. At the same time, don't overdo it. You don't want to be carrying things that you don't need. Tip number 3, as we've mentioned, is nutrition. Have a think about what will fuel your body to keep going for 3, 4, 5 hours, however long it will take you to run that marathon. You might want to choose gels, you might want to choose an electrolyte drink, you might want to choose real foods, so something like flapjack. Experiment with them, whatever you're going to use. Make sure you do this close to home in case they don't agree with your tummy. Gels, for example, can upset people's tummies, so make sure you give yourself enough time in your training plan. Factor it in, those runs where you do a long run and take your fuel of choice out with you to see how your body responds to it after 2 or 3 hours of running. It might respond totally different after that period of time than it does if you're only running for 30 minutes. Training is an opportunity to get things wrong, remember that. It doesn't have to be perfect, so do try different things and make sure that they work for you so that come race day you know that you've got everything sorted. So let's talk a little bit about pre-run and post-run. What should you be eating? Before a run, make sure you are taking on board some fuel. So our body is fueled primarily through carbohydrate, so make sure you have got some on board. That could be something as simple as a banana or something that's going to release carbohydrates quickly into your bloodstream when you need it. Post-run, make sure you refuel. So protein is key to help those muscles repair, as is carbohydrate to replace the carbs that you've used during your run. Also think about if you're training in hot weather and you're sweating a lot, you will lose salts. So do think about replacing those on a run and afterwards via salt tablets or electrolyte drinks. So fourthly, let's talk about cross training. A lot of people training for a marathon will just be out there running. It's really important to think about how you strengthen your body and to prevent injury. Think about including, even just once a week, something different to running. That could be swimming, cycling, just something to take the pressure off your joints. Think about including some strength training. That could be simple body weight exercises. It could be something like weight training, just to help strengthen you. Think about core exercises. The more you work your core, the more efficient at running you will be, Think about things like Pilates. That's a really good thing to include alongside a running program. And yoga can be really beneficial in terms of mobility, helping you become a better, more flexible runner, and it can also help you learn how to stretch effectively after a run as well. Ultimately, you're not looking to replace running, you're just looking to complement it and make yourself a better runner. And tip number 5 is rest and recovery. I don't think enough emphasis is put on this. It's really important to plan in regular rest days to any training program. It's also important to include lots of easy running in a plan. A running plan should not include just tough runs, because that's ultimately going to lead to fatigue, possibly overtraining and potentially injury. We need to get you to that start line in one piece. So it's really important to think about how your body needs to recover as well. Listen to your body. If you feel any niggles, take a day off. If it doesn't disappear, see a specialist about it and get it sorted. Most importantly, if you do come up against an injury, don't then try to cram in the rest of your training. This is where your training program comes in. That's why it's important to have a bit of extra time for potential setbacks. If you've got a coach who can help you be more flexible in this, that's great. If not, do factor in this extra time just in case anything crops up like that. Rest can be anything from putting your feet up in front of the TV to sleep. Sleep is crucial. That's where your muscles do most of the repair work overnight. So do make sure you're getting enough sleep. As for recovery, this can still be exercise. So this could be a light jog around your local park. It could be going for a bike ride with your family. Actually, these rest and recovery days are my favourite. Just don't let them take over your whole training plan, obviously. Here's a bonus tip for you: mindset. We focus a lot on the physical element of training for a marathon, but not so much on the mind. It's really important that you train your mind, particularly on those long runs, to prepare for how tough those final miles of a marathon are going to be. Things that will help are learning to enjoy those long runs. So try things like going out with running friends, making plans with them. Try listening to music on your long runs. Simple things such as hiring a coach will help for added motivation. We talked about keeping runs easy, but sometimes it's good to throw in those tougher sessions, even when you don't feel like doing them. Getting those sessions done are ultimately what trains your mind, and that will help you get through your marathon. Remember guys, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You're in this for the long haul, so remember, tailored training plan. Make sure you've got decent kit, the right nutrition. Keep it varied, include some cross training, and make sure you take adequate rest and recovery, and don't forget your mindset. Learn to enjoy the process, have fun, and good luck.